actually growing. Home ownership has hit an all-time low since 1970. As you know, we lost 90% of our land. A lot of our wealth actually has gone to places like universities that have gotten us to commit a couple $100,000 in our family wealth with student loan debt, maybe 100,000, 80,000, whatever the number is. And what it does is it's caused us to not just lose a lot of wealth, because even if you pay the loans back, you still gave away a lot of money to pay those loans back. But also, half of all black college graduates default on their student loans, which makes it difficult for them to make that jump. Remember I told you to make that jump over the fence where you go from being a walker to a driver, right? A different investment vehicle. Well, it's harder to make that jump because it's the debt and the bad credit that comes with defaulting on the debt is almost like putting 80-pound weights on your ankle. So you can't jump the fence now into home ownership a lot of times because you don't have the credit, or you can't jump into entrepreneurship because you're enslaved by a job that you're required to have in order to make the basic payments of the loans that you'll never repay. So ultimately, these are the gaps, these are the wealth levels for different groups. You got whites here, Asians here, and Asians actually have higher incomes. I guess their wealth levels are lower. Hispanics and black kind of down here. Okay, so that's what it is. You know, y'all know a lot of this, so we're not going to dwell on this. We're just making this point. So we can talk about how your family is not going to be a statistic at all. If the racial wealth gap is left unaddressed, median black household wealth, meaning the median middle black person, if you take all the black people in America and you put them in a row, the middle person's wealth will be $0 by the year 2053 because black wealth is dropping. There's more here on this slide. I'll send you guys the slide after it's over with. I want to get through some of this, so I'm not going to go through each point on this. So if you looked at U.S. wealth and you broke it up into categories, what's interesting is, you know, that you have, if all wealth in the U.S. were broken up into the country, 1%, the 1% would own all of this, 9% of the country would own this, the remaining 90% would own this. So in America, you have a wealth distribution issue because you've got some groups of people that have faster investment vehicles than other people. It's not fair, it kind of stinks, but it's America, it's the country that was created here. So here's the thing about wealth though, is that there are three basic pillars of wealth, three basic ways that people earn the majority of their money: stock investing, real estate investing, and small business ownership. Let me tell you in a big picture context what each of these three things does and why each of these three things are the three things that your children should be trained on, at least on a basic level. First, stock investing is a big deal because when we look at the studies and look at the data, we find that the difference, the defining factor that separates middle class from upper class people is stock market participation.